capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard, and they have a picture there of I think it's the Apollo flight that Bugs and Neil were on. But anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
Say 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Have you heard about Clark McClellan's statement about that?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Have you ever been in touch with him?
No.
No?
I have tried to stay independent and not be affected by others' opinions.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 15, verse 1 and 2. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Barakah Kodash. That's who this world ignorantly called God and Jesus Christ. Yahweh means he is, and Yahweh Shah means he delivered. And Barakah Kodash is the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and the elders and apostles across the four corners of the earth that's pushing this truth and sincerity. I'm just give a quick little quick sit down on I'm gonna go into Ezekiel chapter 1, because this devil just described that he they seen so-called black people come out what they call UFOs. We call them chariots, you know. But I'm gonna go into this chapter a little bit and show you what Ezekiel seen, man. You know. And these devils, man, what's so crazy about it is these devils know that they're not aliens, man. What they told y'all, what they call them so-called UFOs. We know them as chariots, whirlwinds, clouds in the scriptures, man. Okay, they're known as clouds or came like a whirlwind, a great cloud. You know that's how or wheels or chariots. You know, that's how the Lord describes them in the scriptures. But Esau, I tell you, this so-called white man, to tell you that it's aliens, and those are called UFO ships. This man's wicked, man. He what the scriptures say, he blasphemed the heavens, man. You know? He got y'all thinking that these are aliens right here. Well, no, they're angels, man. Those are the Lord angels. Ezekiel goes into it. I'm gonna go into it. This is Ezekiel chapter 1. I'm gonna start at the top. Now it came to pass in the third year. Now it came to pass in the third year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was amongst the captives by the river Chebar, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of the Most High. You see that? So he was captives, man. He was in slavery. Ezekiel's an Israelite, man. You know, he's in slavery in the time of, I believe it's the Babylonian Empire, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Him and Daniel was in captivity on the Babylonians, I believe. But verse 2, and the 5th day of the 5th month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim captivity, the word of Yahweh came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, and the Buzzy in the land of the Chaldeans, by the river Chebar, and the hand of Yahweh was there upon him. So the Lord is about to reveal something to him, man. Turn his hand and put his hand upon him, about to reveal something to him. The heavens open. Okay? And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about it. And out of the midst thereof, the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Okay, so he's seeing like he. That's why. Okay, let me explain this to you. That's why this book is written in parables, because everybody is not supposed to get it. Now let me see that. Let me get that real quick, man, before I break that down. This is Matthew 13. This is Matthew 13 and 9. I'm going to start at 9, okay? Oh, it's a lot. I'm start at 9. It says, he who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, disciples coming up to who this world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, who is Yahweh Shah. They coming up to him, and let's listen to what they asking him. Why speakest thou to them? Why speakest thou unto them in parables? Let's listen and see what Yahweh Shah said. He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. You see that? So everybody's not going to accept this, man. Especially Israel. They're not going to understand this shit, man. Because it's not given to them, man. It's only given to a certain few of the nation of Israel. And call Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, I obtained it, man. You know? Through the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, through the Unihorn. Okay? But I'm going to read that one more time, then we're going to get some images. It says, and I looked, and behold, the whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it. So let's pull up an image, man. Pull up an image. Here we go. You see this? This is what Ezekiel is talking about. Okay, it says, let's break this down. It says, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about it. So this is what the Lord brought to Ezekiel right here. This is the cloud. It looks like a cloud to him. It's sort of a replica of a cloud. The Lord had it in the book of I believe it's when he took the nation of Israel out of Egypt, man. He had these chariots over them, covering them. It says covering them so they can be hidden through the night, man. But they still could see, you know. The Lord had them covered, man. But this is what he's seeing. The inside looks like a fire. That's because the Lord is opening the chariot, you know. That's the opening of it. He's seeing the fire, man. Okay? And it says, and out the midst of thereof, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. So he's seeing something coming out of here, man. He's seeing something coming out the bottom of the chariot, man. Okay? Okay, so let's look up the amber color. Here we go. The color of amber. Look at this. Okay. See? Amber can be dark. It's like a dark brownish. See that? But we're gonna get into it a little bit more. Let's go a little bit deeper, okay? It says, also out the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, man. Okay? See? So they had the likeness of a man. They were built like men, okay? It says, and every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. So these men had 4 faces, okay? One in the front, one on the left side, one on the right side, and one on the back side. Okay? And they have 4 wings. Okay? 4 wings on each of them. Okay? And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. So they had as today, you know, they sell boots with hooves in them, like a goat hoof or a cow hoof, okay? So he says their sole was as a calf hoof, a calf foot, man. Okay, so let's look up a calf foot. Slop. Okay, this is what it looked like. This is what Ezekiel's seen. A hoof, okay? Let's go back. It says, and they sparkle like the color of burnished brass. See? They sparkle like the color of burnished brass, man. So, burnished brass. Let's look this up. This is what it shine like. Okay? That's burning brass, man. Okay? It's a nice, and now imagine that sparkled up, man. Looking nice. Okay? That's what Ezekiel is seeing, man. It says, and they had their hands of a man under their wings, and their 4 sides. And therefore had their faces and their wings, man. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. So their wings were joined together, one and turned not, when everyone went straight forward, man. As the likeness of their faces, they had the face of a man, okay? And the face of a lion, On the right side, they had the face of an ox. On the left side, they had the face of an eagle. Now, they said in the front side, they had the face of a man. On the back side, on the back side, the face of a lion. And on the right side, the face of an ox. And on the left side, the face of an eagle. Okay? So that's symbolic of what these the powers of these angels carry, man. Okay? These faces. And we're gonna go into it real quick. The man means wisdom. Okay? Represents wisdom. The face of a man represents wisdom because the Lord gave the men wisdom and knowledge and understanding, man, of the scriptures, of his of him, you know, and that's what these angels have. Okay, let's go to second address 14 and where's it at? Right here. Second address 14 and 42. Now this is the face of man. This is the breakdown of the face of men. Of the face of man is wisdom. And it's a lot. Let me get the image of a foreface real quick. Okay, these are the four faces he's seeing like that, okay? Something like this. This is the image. Something like this. You know? This is what Ezekiel's seeing. You know? It'd be some crazy, hey, the Lord, how you see some shit like that, man? That'd be crazy, man. The wings, 2 wings going up and 2 wings covereth the body. You know? That's describing Ezekiel. This is what Ezekiel is seeing right here, man. The face of man, Jake. Just like that, it's Jake. Esau seeing Jake. You know? Well, they say they seen the vision of Jake. Well, ain't no telling, man. These devils be lying, but hey, it's in the scriptures. Book of Ezekiel. You know? It says, this is second Esdras 14 and 42. Now, this is breaking down the face of man because man represents wisdom. The Lord gave us wisdom over all. He gave us, he said in the book of Genesis, man is Lord over all creatures, man. We're Lord over all creatures, and he gave us the wisdom right here. This verse 42, the highest gave understanding to the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions of the night that were told, which they knew not. And they sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. So that face of men represents the wisdom and knowledge that they have, man, that the Lord granted them, you know? Okay? And the face of a lion. Okay? Let's go to the face of a lion. The face of a lion represents boldness. Let me get that. This is Proverbs 28 and 1. It says, the wicked fleeth when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. See that? So the face of a lion represents the boldness. Okay? The face of a lion represents the boldness. The face of man represents wisdom. Okay? Now the face of an ox. Let's go into the face of the ox. The ox represents strength. Okay? Let's go into that. This is Psalms 92 and 10. But my horn shall thou exalt like the horn of an unicorn. I shall be ignored. Oh, no. Salak. Where is it at? Salak, bear with me. That's not the scripture I had. Oh, I just had. Hold on. Let me see. Salak, bear with me. Damn. Salak. Damn, I thought I had it. Salak. But the ox represents the strength, man. Sometimes I can't find the scripture. It be like that sometimes. But I'm going to go to the eagle. The ox represents strength, and the eagle represents the swiftness, how they're able to move, how quick they're able to move. You know, this is their swiftness. The eagle represents their swiftness. Let me go get that. This is Deuteronomy 28. I'm kind of putting this up raw a little bit. I had two precepts, but the others I'm just putting up raw. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 49. Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. That's Esau as well. All these other nations don't put us into slavery, but Esau. They represent themselves as the eagle, but yeah, the face of the eagle represents their swiftness, man. Okay. Let me go. Let's go back to Ezekiel. It's a lot. Okay, it says, as for the likeness of their faces, they had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side, and they four also had the face of an eagle. So this is what he's seeing, man. Okay? With the hood foots. Okay? Shining like burnt brass. Okay? And I told you, the man represents the wisdom. The lion represents boldness. The ox represents strength, their strength. And the eagle represents their swiftness, man. Those faces are symbolic. Okay. It says, thus where their faces and their wings were stretched upward, two wings of everyone were joined one to another, and two covered their bodies. See that? That's what he's seeing. And they're two connected to each other, and the other two down covering their bodies, man. Okay? It says, and they went everyone straight forward, whether they spirit was to go. They went, and they turned not when they went. So they're like Okay, you know how like when you're walking, you know, you gotta turn your body to go another way? Nah. It's like they were moving like you moving pieces on a chessboard, man. You know what I mean? They're just hovering. They're just hovering, moving back and forth, man. Just hovering, man. Just moving back and forth. They don't need to turn. Wherever they was moving through the spirit, man. Wherever the spirit was to go, they went. You know, they didn't need to go turn. No, they just moved, you know. It says, as for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was as like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flashing lightning. So, and the appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl. Okay, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Okay, so he's describing the chariots following them, man. Okay, so the chariots is, oh, these angels have a chariot over them. Okay, hold on, let me see. Go back to UFOs real quick. Okay, so it says, for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like the burning coals of fire, and the appearance of lamps. See? The chariots is over them. The appearance of lamps. Look like lamps lighting around. That's what he's seeing. And the burning coals of fire, man. So it's, the chariots is hovering over these angels, man. Okay? It says, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flashing lightning. So they're moving like the speed of lightning, man. You know? You can't catch that, you know? And the appearance of the wheels and their works. Okay, let's look up this color. Let's look up this color. Okay. Burley, see? This is the color. This is what he's seeing. And the windows, man, are the chariots. Okay? This is the color he's seeing. It says, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flashing light. Now as I behold the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his four faces. So these living creatures, the angels, were moving fast, you know what I mean? We're moving fast. And now he's about to explain how these chariots is over the living creatures, the angels. Okay? It says, oh, let me look up the wheel. It says, yeah, hold on. It says, and therefore had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Okay, so let's look this up. It was a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So look, this is what he's seeing, see? A wheel in the middle of a wheel. Let me get another good look. See? This is what he's seeing. A wheel in the middle of a wheel. The outside wheel and the inside wheel. Okay? It's not a UFO. It's called a chariot, man. It's the Lord's vehicles. Those are angels. This is what Ezekiel is seeing. This is why we understand the parables. And this is why we're here to show y'all, man. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're here to reveal this to y'all, man. Because in the time, it's going to, if y'all don't come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, it's going to be too late. And, hey, we're at the time, man. These so-called white people say they've been seeing so many sights of these chariots, man. You know? So, hey, it's real, man. It says, when they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. See? As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their wings were full of eyes round about them, man. So, verse 17 explains, like, wherever the angels moved, the chariots moved with them, man. Okay? So, imagine, like, okay, for instance, when Esau got cars today, you need to turn the wheel. They said pilots in the video. Ain't no pilot. You don't need to control a chariot. You control it with your spirit, man. You don't need to stop and, hold up, don't me. You ain't gonna be no wrecks with no chariot. You want that chariot, you want to move this way, that chariot gonna move it. It's in your spirit. The spirit moves the chariots, man. Not no gas. You don't need to hit no brake, man. You ain't gonna have to worry about that. It moves when you want it to move in spirit, man. You know? That's the technology we trying to deal with, man. Fuck Esau driving Ferraris and shit, man. Fuck that dumbass shit, man. I'm trying to control a chariot, man. You know? It says, as for their rings, they were so high, they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. So the rings had eyes. This is what he's seeing. The windows look like lamps, look like eyes. It's not eyes. These are lights. Okay? Look like eyes to him. Okay? See? It says, and when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. You see? The wheels went with them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels lifted up, man. See? Ezekiel is seeing these angels controlling these chariots with their spirit. Wherever so, with ever so the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. See, so these angels controlled the chariots with their spirits, man. You know? That's amazing, man. That's man. See, but Jake won't believe this, man. Jake hear this shit, man. Nigga, you waiting on an alien to come get you, nigga. That's why Jake gotta die, man. This too far-fetched from Jake. But Jake could go and believe in anime all day. Get anime tatted on them, wanna be like the anime and shit. No disrespect to brothers that like anime. No disrespect to y'all. I'm just saying. This is an example. You know what I'm saying? How Jake mine is. Okay? But yeah, let's get it on. It says, It says, and the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. Then those went, these went, and when those stood, these stood, and when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels, man. So they were controlling the chariots by their spirit, man. You know, they wanted to hover and move this way, move that way. They didn't move. They didn't have to turn side to side to move, man. They're just hovering, bro. Just moving back and just moving, hovering, bro. Like lightning. And wherever they choose to move, the chariot is right over them, man. That's powerful, man. You know, it says, and the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above, and under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward another. Every one had two, which covered on this side, and every one had two, which covered on that side their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of a speech, as the noise of a host. When they stood, they let down their wings, man. So the woman asked Esau how tall were they. Esau said in the estimate of 7 foot. That's an estimate, man. They could have been taller, man. But if they're that tall, you can imagine how big their wings was. When he said when they went, they wings made a great noise of great waters, man. So their stature had to be big as hell, man. For taking off with some big ass wings like that, man. You know? And when they went, I heard a great noise of their wings. Like the... Oh, Slock, I read that. Go to verse 25. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads when they stood and had let their wings down. You see that? So why Ezekiel know there's a firmament over the earth? you niggas still ignorant of that. And above the firmament that was over their heads was like the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, man. Let's look at this throne. As the appearance of a sapphire stone. It's like it's in appearance of a sapphire stone. That's what the throne looked like. Laced out. That's what the throne looked like. You know, that's cold. Imagine a throne looking like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's tough, man. That's tough, man. That's cold, man. It says, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. It says, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man upon it, man. So he's seeing the Most High, man. The Most High is revealing, you know. And I saw the color of amber as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had a brightness round about it, man. So he's seeing the appearance, Yahweh is giving him an appearance of a flash of him, man. You know? As the appearance of Baal that is in the cloud in the rain, in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. That was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of Yahweh. When I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake, man. So you can just imagine what Ezekiel, going through Ezekiel's mind, seeing the Lord bringing that right in front of him like that. The chariots, his angels, and him. Of course he gonna fall on his face, man. That's the Heavenly Father, man. So these are not UFOs, y'all. These are chariots. These are the Lord chariots that Ezekiel seen, man. I hope this was edifying much as possible, man. And they're coming to destroy America, man. What y'all know as America. What we know as Babylon the Great. With that, I'm going to end it.